From the Heartland Business and Event Center, nestled in vibrant downtown Jesup, Iowa, welcome to the cradle of the Bohemian Resistance. We are the Underground, the voice of rebellion, and with alongside producer Blake Tempus and warrior poet Dale Rueber, I stand as the Marquis of Chatham, Jim Gillespie, and this is a special edition of the Steve Brown Arts Center podcast for January 14th, 2026. Tonight we're sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster. The Farrells are kind sponsors of this podcast. Include them in your wedding, graduation, or festival plans. Don't wait, their schedule's filling up. Another sponsor who's been with us since the birth is Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair needs. Have you been asking what is up? With something going on lately, everyone has a story, opinions, and experiences to share, and they do that on What Is Up podcast, discussing real life with real people, the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, and everything funny in between. The most interesting yet entertaining podcast that makes people think, one conversation at a time. After you're done listening to us, check out Bubba Seaman on the podcast What Is Up. Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you, Jim.
It's did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, actually I did. We had all the family home for Christmas. We did it on Saturday after Christmas, and so that's always a lot of fun. They spend the whole day, and then we had kids 2-3 days there, and the weather kind of they were going to stay a little longer, but they decided Michigan family was headed to Pennsylvania, where Drew's family was going to meet, and so they left a little earlier than they were going to get ahead of the weather. I think Kevin and Joy went home. It was Sunday afternoon, and they went south to get to 80. Usually they go west and then south, but they went south from here because there was a huge pileup, I guess, where 20 and 35 connect, and so they didn't go that way. They went south to 80 and then across, and so they stayed out of that. And Interstate 35 was closed, from Ames all the way up. So anyway, everybody got out of the way, and so it worked out really well.
Oh,
so we had a good time.
So what is one unique gift you got for Christmas?
Well, we just do a one gift.
Right.
Yeah, it's a grab bag kind of thing, and you just pass them around and you steal them and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I got part of the gift I ended up with was a glass bottle of Coke with a flip top. You had to take a bottle opener and open it up.
Yeah.
And it was made with real sugar.
Oh, really?
And so it was probably the thing I wasn't expecting. It was just, I hadn't thought of something like that, but worked out really, really well.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I got, the most unique thing I got, a set of tarot cards with a book. So I've been doing readings since I got it.
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Well, I'll say it on the podcast to see if it gets it out there, but I don't know if you remember I had that fedora, that hat I wore at Thanksgiving, or Halloween time. And so it was supposed to be a retro gift. And I thought, well, old-fashioned 50s. So that was the present that I wrapped up and gave. And so the kid that got it was less than thrilled, I think, and everything. But and I didn't say anything to him. But there's a bill folded up in the lining inside the hat, and he hasn't called me yet to say he's found it. So we'll just see if the word gets to him.
Being there like 20 years.
The Steve Brown Arts Center podcast. Yeah. So
yes. Oh, that's cool. That is a good one.
Yeah. Well, this is the same. We have this. I don't know. You've probably everybody seen them. That's the old man and the old woman saying grace before they eat their bread. We have the pair of them, and they're facing each other. We were looking at it 2 or 3 days after he was gone. I said, wait a minute. And so they were looking away from each other, like they'd had an argument. And so the kid changed them around, so he had not said anything. And so that's the same kid that got the hat. So we'll see how long it takes him because he made fun of me that it took me a long time to figure out. And
he did.
So, okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Anyway,
Thank you.
So,
well, this is a special show. We've got a number of things. We're going to talk about the accomplishments of the Steve Brown Arts Center this year. We're gonna talk about our goals for next year. We're going to talk about the winners and losers nationwide, internationally, locally. We're going to talk about baby boomers. We're going to talk about calendars for the upcoming year. We're going to talk about a change that Blake has been working on for us.
Yep.
New camera we have. There's a lot going on. This is a special edition of the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. And Happy New Year. So Dale, here are the accomplishments of the Steve Brown Arts Center for 2025.
Okay.
We had over 110 events this year.
Okay, and that's a lot,
That is a lot. That's one
getting the word out. I mean, that's great. So.
Yeah, that's one almost every 1.5 days.
Mm-hmm.
1.25 days.
No wonder you look so tired all the time.
No kidding. I'm not old, I'm tired. The second one, our third anniversary for the podcast was at Joe's Pizza in Jesup. We've had 156 shows. Amazes me. I didn't think we'd make it to 5 shows, let alone 56.
Well, you've never missed a week.
No, we have.
Always had something.
And a lot of that is thanks to you, thanks to Blake, thanks to the Heartland Business and Event Center here for letting us do it here. We're so lucky. We started the Mustang camera outside of Joe's Pizza in Independence this year. We started jam sessions, which we had not only at the public library, but in the Land of Corn Park here in Jesup.
Yeah, the weather was nice. That was great.
We started artist collaborations, first at the First Lutheran Church here in Jesup, and we moved that to Gedney. We had the Sprouting Singers at the Jesup Public Library for young kids, run by Dr. Jessica Saunders. We had the Tiny Art Show at Farmers Day last year. This year we're talking about doing a giant art show. Nothing smaller than 2x3, nothing bigger than 3x5.
Okay.
And I talked to Mr. Feckkeller about where we would have it. We would have to do it inside, so that's still in negotiations. But we're going up. We did a pumpkin contest along with Laces in Independence. We had the Youth Talent Show for the 3rd year in a row here in Jesup. Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster sponsored a traveling art show for us to multiple towns in the area. We had the 4B Band at Aurora Days. We had the band at Raleigh Days. We had the band at Farmers Day. They were our summer artists in residence.
Right.
Is why we had them so many places.
And we changed their name, didn't we?
We did. We did.
To the 4B.
Yeah. The Brass Blast Brass Band is what it is.
I never can say it right.
Yeah.
So.
I got better after you made fun of me enough times.
That was the goal. It's always just to make you better. That's my goal.
We provided an Easter basket for the Jesup Chamber Easter egg hunt for the 2nd year in a row. And that's very popular award. The Chamber tells me that's one of the first selected each year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm proud to say that.
So it's probably very artistically designed.
It is.
Presented.
There's paints in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's candy in there. Yeah. There's drawing, colored pencils. There's multiple things in there.
Yeah.
We had a small art show for different artists at Gedney's twice. Showed 6 artists there. 3 women and 3 men, actually. Actually, 4 women and 3.
Oh, see, you're making progress with that because there's been a time when we had all men and didn't have. Yeah, so
it is.
You're doing a good job with that.
And we had 12 different artists and a different artist every month in M's Coffee Shop in Independence. So just to name, and then we had 52 podcasts. So over 110 events. I'm proud of that, Dale. We've come a long way. This Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, what do you have on your calendar?
Well, we have several events going on, and I was going to start with the Heartland Technology Business and Event Center, which is coming up. And they're having yoga on Tuesday. You ever do any yoga exercises?
I've done just a couple.
Okay.
I haven't done it for a long time.
Well, they're having those each Tuesday this month at 6 o'clock. It's a Yoga by Bridget at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So the next one will be the 13th, the 20th, and then the 27th. They're also having suicide prevention training on Thursday, the 15th. With the short days, it gets dark so early. Suicide prevention, it's a good time to talk about that sort of thing because it's a depressing time sometimes. Looking ahead, the 23rd is a Friday. They have Pizza, Puzzle, and Guzzle
at 6:30
right here.
Right here.
But it says, please RSVP. Now, I don't know if you have to bring your own puzzle or your own guzzle or what, but that sounds like an interesting time.
What's that cost?
It does not say.
It doesn't say. Okay.
It just says pizza, puzzle, and guzzle. And I was going to talk to Kelly, but she must have
Knock out of here.
She left a little early. Whoever keeps track of her time. So that's going on here. The library, as always, has got a whole bunch of things going on, and we'll go through today. We don't do this every time, but the things that are there all the time. The exercise group on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 o'clock. The card games on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Something a little different. National Seed Swap Day. Do you garden a little?
I garden a little.
It's hard with a deer out there. But Saturday, January 31st at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's where you can bring in, where you have seed packets with seeds left over and have them out for people to take. And there'll be other seeds there that you might want to take. And so if you don't have any seeds to give, that's fine. They still would like you to come in. Sometimes it's a way to get something you never thought about growing, but if someone else has had success with it in the area, or maybe it's something you'll be interested in. So gardeners, that's on a Saturday morning, January 31st. Okay. If you need tech help, and boy, we all do Mondays at 9 a.m., call down there, make an appointment. Also remember, you have another month here before February 1st. If you've have a new email. A lot of us had to change our emails. Let the library know so that keep communicating with you. Valentine's Day Valentine's Day soap making is Wednesday, January 14th at 6:30, and you can make your own Valentine soap. See, so there'll be nice presents for you to give out to all the people that you know, Jim. And it works with oils, lye, fragrance, and color. You can take home 6 fully finished bars made by you, but there's a price, $30 per person. Okay. So there's a lot of material have to be bought with that. It takes 1.5 hours. And so contact the library if you'd like to work with that. Paint and sip with Allie. There's a lot of art with sipping I see involved. A $5 fee for that program. It's adult painting and refreshments. We've had her on here, right? This is the gal that does it? Or is this another person?
No, Allie. This is Allie Borjardine.
Okay.
She was our photographer for a while.
Okay. All right. Okay. Little Tot Story Time is every Thursday at 10:30. Get those kids into books. Pay dividends for them their whole life. Fun and Play Thursdays at 8 o'clock in the morning for toddlers and caregivers. Crafternoon Fun is on Monday, January 12th. Join us to share what you are working on, see what others are creating, and just chat while we craft together. So it's really a way to get involved with other people that are crafting also. The Monday movie is January 26th at 1 o'clock. It's called Wild Oats with Shirley MacLaine, Jessica Lange, and Demi Moore. So apparently all three of those were much younger when they made this movie, I'm sure. It's a PG-13, runs an hour. And the Chapter Chat Book Club is Monday, January 19th, and they're discussing Lulu Dean's Little Library of Banned Books by Kristen Miller.
Have you looked at that, Dale?
No, I haven't. I just got the thing today, and so I really don't know. But well, it could be. It's been a lot going with banned books in Iowa and all other places too, and so it should be an up-to-date discussion of that. But it sounds like it's to me, if you read a title like that, you think that's going to be a fun book to read. Right. I mean, it's not a serious kind of thing. So okay, I'm going to talk about baby boomers in one of the other segments.
Okay,
but I'm going to talk about athletics. We have some things. Girls basketball. On the 12th, January 12th, they're at Dyke, New Hartford. At the 13th, Gladbrook Rhinebeck is here. On the 16th, Sumner Fredericksburg is here. And then around to the Monday the 19th, Turkey Valley is here. And you ever been to Turkey Valley?
Yeah.
Been there? Yeah. See that they got the sign, welcome to Turkey Valley. And you go 5-6 miles before you get to 2 buildings. That's the town. And then I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
The boys are also playing at East Marshall on the 22nd. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too far. On the 12th, they're at Dyke, New Hartford. On the 13th, Gladbrook Rhinebeck, and 16th, Sumner Fredericksburg. So those are double headers that we talked about. And the wrestling is still, you look at the schedule, there's not a lot of games left.
No,
I mean, it goes fast. The wrestling boys, South Hardin, they're at South Hardin on the 15th and at Marion on the 17th. So they travel a lot to have those matches. And so, okay, so those are kind of the schedules that I have. And we'll talk about old people a little later in the show, okay?
All right. It sounds good. Well, we will get started. Let's start. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Let's start the 2025 year in review. You got
I got my answers here.
Your answers right there.
Yeah.
This is always fun for me. I always enjoyed this. When I had contemporary affairs in high school, we used to do this, and the students like this conversation.
Well, I was able to come up with something, except the International Man and Woman of the Year. I had a tough time with that.
That was a tough one.
And so I have left it blank. blank. I must admit. I just I didn't do the whole assignment, teacher. So
all right.
I take points off for that. So okay.
We'll see if you agree with me. Let's start with 2025 death of the most influential person. We'll start with you, Dale. Who'd you have?
Well, I chose Jimmy Carter, and because I thought Jimmy Carter was influential in my life, and I think a lot of people's lives, just with the way he carried himself and how he was a giver. He was someone who worked not for himself but for the betterment of humanity in many ways. He supervised elections and did Habitat for Humanity and many other things where he and his wife led a good life, led the kind of life that all of us should lead, and they weren't takers, they were givers. And
Miss Rosalind's dead, isn't she? She's dead now.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah. So I chose Jimmy Carter.
Oh, that's a good one. I had Jimmy Carter is a great choice there, and I go back and review. That may be a better choice. The one I had was Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
he got a lot of recognition for what he had done.
Well, it fits the category because he was very influential with the people that he worked with.
Yeah. So Charlie Kirk was the one. He was assassinated out in that small college in Utah that day. Let's go to the world's biggest news story of the year. I'll start with this one, Dale. I have Donald Trump's foreign policy.
Okay, yeah, you were a little broader than I was. But, okay.
Yeah. I had to narrow down. To the conflict in Israel. Then I was doing a little reading. There was so much other stuff going on. You had the Ukraine. And before Christmas even, the stuff in Venezuela. And the foreign policy is just so broad. That's why I chose that.
Well, I chose the election of an American as Pope is what I was looking at. But I had it kind of half and half. The U.S. policy, I was thinking about just in the Caribbean, and this was not this recent thing, but where they were killing people in boats in international water, and there was no war, and the boats are not flying any kind of flag. There's no attempt made to stop them or arrest them. They're just killed. And so I thought that was a major news story because it sets the stage for a lot more to come later on.
Right.
But I also thought, I don't think anyone ever thought that an American would ever become Pope. It just wasn't in the cards. But this man, Pope Leo, is that what he?
Yeah.
Pope Leo. So I thought that was a very big news story.
Yeah.
And continues to be.
Let alone a White Sox fan besides.
So apparently he cannot see into the future,
Obviously.
So,
all right. Those are good ones. What movie, what is, and again, are you seeing the Emmys here? The movie of the year. What was the movie of the year?
Well, I thought it was probably Wicked. The first Wicked got lots of press. A lot of people went to see that movie, and when it came out, and was a big draw at the box office, and it's all lined up, I think, to get awards. And so that's what I chose. And I have to honestly say I did not see a lot of the 2025 movies. I think I saw Wicked, and I think I saw that on television.
Right.
Somebody had it, and Netflix or whatever. And I did go to the theater to see Superman, which I thought was pretty well done. And I've already gone to one this year. We went to see, I took my two grandsons from Hudson to see Anaconda, about the giant snake. And it's a lot different than the Anaconda of several years ago.
The original one?
Yeah, Jack Black. It's a fun, you could take your grandkids. I mean, there's not a lot of language problems and no girl problems. It's just a big snake. Okay, so that was kind of fun.
Okay. Mine is, and I listen to multiple mediums for this because I get into an algorithm on Netflix, and they're older movies, so not as old as you watch, but they're older movies. And the one that I kept hearing over and over again is One Battle After Another.
Okay, yeah.
And I haven't seen that, but supposedly that's in line to win multiple awards.
Yeah, I read an article about that movie. Not so much about what it's about, but what a good movie it is. So they expect it to do well.
So that was the one I went with. The 2025 Entertainer of the Year award goes to.
Well, I said Taylor Swift. I still think she. If you lined them up and said who's going to draw the most people to a big event of some kind, I think she would. No one's surpassing her as far as I can see be now or in the near future. She is just a fantastic entertainer. Millions and millions of fans. Very loyal. That's who I chose.
I have a country singer, Lainey Wilson, who is, Blake, are you familiar with her? What do you think? Is that deserving or not? Lainey Wilson is the entertainer of the year. Dale's probably right as far as crowds, but Lainey Wilson's up and coming, I think. Yeah.
See there? I win. Yeah, one. Okay, thank you, Blake.
All right.
He's never been on my side before.
Who is the 2025 Athlete of the Year in your mind, Dale?
Well, I took Ohtani for the Dodgers. He delivered. He's got a huge. People are piling it on him. How great he is. He's supposed to be, but he performs. He does it.
Yeah.
And so, and the idea that he goes both ways in baseball, which hasn't been done for a long, long time, I chose him.
And Dale, finally, you're right here. But that's who I chose for the 2025 Athlete of the Year.
I got two in a row.
You did.
Today on Jeopardy, all three of them missed a question that I had said the right answer to. So
was it a rerun? Or?
No. It was brand new. So
the international winner of the year in your mind, Dale.
Well, and this was hard, but I chose this Mark Carney, who's the Prime Minister of Canada.
Yeah.
I like him. I saw him interviewed before he became Prime Minister, but it seemed like there was a lot of noise about taking over Canada and this and that, and then all at once, he became Prime Minister, and that kind of all went away. And so I don't know if he did anything or if he did a lot, but apparently people have changed their mind in Washington, D.C. about Canada, and I'm thinking a lot has to do with him because you listen to him talk, he's a very smart man. And so I can see him working his way with those people in D.C. So, but anyway, I chose him.
That's a good choice. He worked on the stock exchange. Mm-hmm. He is trying to move the health care a little bit towards the United States, a little bit more to get the doctors and the nurses some more money up there. Yeah, I hear good things about him too, Dale. My winner, though, was Elon Musk. He went over $700 billion in earnings. The first person ever. $700 billion. He's got to be destined to be the first trillionaire ever.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But he's in trouble now with the latest TikTok thing that was on.
No, I haven't.
Where people are able to make images. Like we could could strip you of your clothing and put a bikini on you or put hair, or make you a girl or a goat or whatever. And he has refused to put any restrictions on. He even released one of himself with his head in a woman's body wearing a bikini. I guess it was his own body he's wearing a bikini. But he is not so far willing to put any bridles on what people are putting very, very nasty things. Yeah. Young children, it's just so. I mean, I'm not a believer in censorship, but I don't think you should be able to ruin someone's life because you have a picture of them and you can change it to show them in a way that they have never been.
That is so realistic. I mean, there's stuff out there that I've got to watch again and again. Mm-hmm. Then I've got to look who posted it. Then I've got to follow the trail.
I really think you cannot believe anything that you see or hear because they can make your voice say whatever they want. They can make your picture say whatever they want. And so a friend of mine, he got a picture from his son, and his son said he was deer hunting and he had a nice big deer. But then the next message said, somebody reported me that I shot the deer out the window of my car. And then he had a picture of a law enforcement person handcuffing him and everything. And then he said, don't worry, he said, I've got witnesses that can verify my story. And then a little farther, they said, well, he had made it all up. He didn't shoot the deer. It was all AI that he had made all those pictures. But the dad was shook when he was reading. He started at the top and reading it about his son. So So I don't believe. I try hard not to believe anything. Somebody sends me a picture of any kind. I just can't believe it.
This is the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be back with the second half of the 2025 Year in Review right after this. This is the second half of the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network.
For new listeners, we have three halves in our show.
We do. Math questionable here. But we are looking at the winners and losers for 2020. For those of you just joining us, the international Loser of the Year award is the next award. I will start this one. It is Vladimir Zelensky. Unfortunately, he cannot get himself out of that quagmire of a war with Russia. He's had ministers stealing money from the account, or from the money that we've been giving them. The United States has been giving the Ukraine. He is losing the backing in his country. I just don't know how much longer that they can hold out before they got to give away the store.
See, it's interesting because I went with Putin, the Russian president, as being the loser of the year. Since the 1st of December, they've had 100,000 Russian soldiers killed or wounded. And for this war, which is, in the third year now, they're looking at 1.5 million soldiers killed and wounded. And I don't know how long this country can put up with that. There's a lot of funerals. That's a lot of. And so I just don't see how he thinks he can keep losing that many people. Minimal gains, really. I mean, if you think about World War II, how much land you would take, never losing anywhere near that kind of soldier. It's just unbelievable. So I think he's losing over there. I don't know if he's losing the hearts and minds of these people or not, but he should be. So to me, he's the biggest loser in the world. So sad.
War, there can't be a winner or a loser.
No,
there's no winner or loser in war, is there?
Nope, never has been.
Yeah. The national winner of the year, Dale, I'll let you start.
Okay, well, I went with the Los Angeles Dodgers because they've started a little dynasty there, and the future looks bright for them. They're going to be hard to beat. And so by getting all the hype, getting all the pressure, and living up to it and winning in the end, so I think that's a winning formula that they've got going there. So
that's a good one. I have a little different. This lady, a lot of people won't know who she is. Miriam Adelson. She is Donald Trump's main supporter that got him elected, besides Elon, and she is big into supporting Israel. And one of the reasons why, if you listen to far right radio, if you listen to Donald Trump on Israel and on Netanyahu, it is because of Miriam Adelson's finances that he does a lot for Israel. So that's who I have for the national winner of the year. Her husband is dead. He was the main financier, and then Miriam took over. The national loser of the year, who do you have?
Well, I went with the team thinking I took the Kansas City Chiefs because they were on this roll and high hopes, high expectations to make history, and not entirely the team's fault or anything, but circumstances allowed them to flub it, and so they're not in the playoffs even. And so I think all my friends, I have relatives in Kansas City, very unhappy. So I don't blame them, But I chose the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good one. The national loser of the year for me was Rudolph Giuliani.
Okay, sure.
Had to have a pardon from Trump to get out of stuff. He was accused of multiple things. He wasn't the man that was there on 9/11 that everybody so much respect, and that's disappointing to me. So that's why I have Rudolph Giuliani.
Okay. I had a secondary loser, and that was the United States Congress, because I think they have given up so much of their constitutional power, and I don't see any reason why they would do that. They need to be more demanding and insisting that the Constitution be followed, and that things they are responsible for they need to keep instead of giving it away, because it's as I do, it's hard to get it back. Okay, so that was my little off to the side remark. So.
Yeah, that is a good one. So that is a national loser of the year. The Iowa winner of the year. Who'd you have for Iowa winner of the year?
I had Rob Sand.
Oh, good one.
He is making real inroads into lots of things, and he came out with a legislative agenda that he would like to see, and one of those was to make government more accountable. The Republicans passed some laws that made it impossible for the auditor to audit public records, and he thinks those all should be, repealed, because he says the more accountability you have, the cleaner and more honest government you have. And so he says they shouldn't let these agencies opt out of being audited by the state auditor. You can only guess why they passed these laws, but mainly it was because he's a Democrat and they don't like him.
Yeah.
But also you have to wonder what they think about the money. It's just, if you don't want anybody investigating you, then what are you doing? So anyway, but I think he's doing a fantastic job being the only Democrat that can get elected in this state and insisting that his office ought to be able to do the job it's supposed to do.
I saw him speak in Independence when he was in Independence.
Yeah, I saw that too. He was.
Were you there that day?
Yes, I was. Remember,
Yeah, that's right. We walked together to the car.
Yeah,
You mentioned it. Yes, you were. Forgive me.
But yeah, he was quite good, I thought. So he could very easily be governor.
Yeah.
Was that what? That's in November, right?
That's coming up,
this year. Yeah. So could very easily be the next governor because he's got a lot of good ideas and he's young and personable, and he just looks like and sounds like the kind of man that you would trust to run your government.
That's a good choice. I had Ben McCollum.
Oh, okay.
A lot of success at Drake while he was there.
Yeah.
With 30 wins at Drake. Came to Iowa, brought a lot of guys with him from Drake.
Let Minnesota beat him though last night.
He did let Minnesota beat him last night. I think he's got things in order. He's got, and the Iowa fans like him.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like his style, but I'm talking the system that he plays.
Yeah.
I'm not talking how he dresses.
Were you surprised at how many Iowa State football players went to Penn State to follow their coach? Was it like 40 of them?
Is that how many went?
I think that's the number I heard, but there's a lot of them that are going to Penn State. And somebody said, these are usually not the kind of players that Penn State recruits,
right.
But they know the system and they know the coach. And so it'd be interesting to see what they end up doing.
That will be interesting.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the next category, the Iowa Loser of the Year. I'll start with that one. Dale, I have the Iowa State football team as the loser of the year.
Okay.
Just for this fact, they refused to go to the bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. So the coach was hired. If you're getting this NIL money, if you're paid, I'm leaving now. If you're paid, either pay back your money or play. Mm-hmm. But you can't do both.
Yeah, and I don't know. I had heard that, the coach left and that they had a lot of injured players, and so they decided they couldn't perform to the best of their ability, and so that's why they voted that way. And again, I have no idea. Maybe they're just tired too. I don't know. But the university did not fight them at all. So it must have been, it cost them $500,000, and which shows you just how much money there is in the football racket.
It is. But that's my loser of the year. Who's your loser?
My loser was the public schools, because I think this money thing where so many more students are going to the private schools, and I think it's hurting the public schools an awful lot. Millions of dollars being, in my view, misappropriated and given to parochial schools. There was an article that there's enough teachers, almost all the teaching positions feel there's a shortage still in special ed, like there probably always will be, but that there's no real shortage of teachers in the states, that all the classrooms have a teacher. And so again, when I first interviewed for a teaching job, I remember there'd be hundreds of applications for one job, and then it would fiddle down to where there'd just be 2 or 3 for a job. It goes up and down. It's a supply and demand, I'm sure, with teachers. And so I think it's great that some of these kids are going into education and wanting to do a good job. And so even though they put a lot more binders on them than they did us, as far as letting them teach. So,
that's
from what I've heard. So
that's a good one. That's a good choice. So that brings us a little closer to who is the Jesup 2025 Man of the Year.
Okay. Well, I could choose Michael Fettgetter every year because I think he does so much for this community, and a lot of it's part of his job, but he goes above and beyond that. And but also James Masteller, president of the school board, and now this year mayor. Mm-hmm. He's resigning from the school board and will be mayor of Jesup. And so it just shows you a young man that has a lot of leadership ability that he has shown to people. Public voted him onto the school board. The school board members voted him president of the school board. And now he is been voted into mayor of Jesup. And so people are seeing a lot of leadership skills in him. And so I chose him as my man of the year.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I have a tie here. First, Chad Cohagen for ramrodding the end of the beautiful auditorium.
Oh yeah.
Getting that done. I mean, that is what a major change, as an arts center, that should benefit all the artists, especially in our schools.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Should change the arts in our school. I'm so proud of that building. And it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Chad is the 2025 Man of the Year, and James fits right in there. He was on the board pushing that along with other board members. And then the Jesup Wrestling Club. They have made Jesup Wrestling one of the top 10 wrestling teams in our state at our level because of the Jesup Wrestling Club.
The wrestling program was down for years and years. Well, you remember that too. And now it's something really the school is quite proud of, and the kids that wrestle. And once you get that success, then you get the younger kids wanting to join in that, and it just kind of keeps going. And so I think they've got a real good start for a long run here. So
they do. Those are good points. So those are my tie for the Man of the Year. So Michael Fedkeller, Chad Cohagen, and Jesup Wrestling Club deserves a big shout out. And the Jesup 2025 Woman of the Year. Who did you have?
I picked Yvette Vogel, and she is a longtime Jesup resident, and she directs the Red Cross blood drives. She has various kinds of fruit trees on her property, and so she picks and preserves all this fruit. And so at her blood drive, when you go, then you get warm apple crisp or cherry crisp or blueberry crisp or whatever she has there with ice cream, and just comes out of her pocket to help out, and trying very hard. And she, in talking with her, gets after the Red Cross when they don't do her right as far as giving her the dates she needs or the stuff she needs or the people she needs. She fights for blood donors as far as getting more cooperation for the Red Cross to get. And I'm not saying it's an adversarial relationship, but every now and then, something comes up and she has to deal with them to get what she thinks she needs to get everything she needs to do a proper blood donation. And so, plus she's a very nice lady.
There you go.
And I think it's nice that she and her husband and Dave and Mary Steuven share grandchildren. And so that's kind of a neat small town story.
That is. Mine is for 2025 Woman of the Year in Jesup was Olivia Frush. Olivia has done some neat things. She took over the farmers market, and the last farmers market of the year was a giant success. It was a nighttime farmers market, which you don't normally have. There was music, there was a nice crowd, different vendors, but she ran that. And also, along with another lady, she has opened a new coffee shop here in town.
Green Bean Cafe?
Green Bean Coffee.
Yeah. It just says cafe. So I have not been in there yet since it opened. But
I've been in
I plan
there.
on it.
I'll have to take you and your wonderful wife down for coffee. That'd be good. Olivia would enjoy seeing us.
Yeah. Now, she's still working at the health center?
I don't know if she is or not.
Okay. Because she drew my blood, It's funny because I've had former students clean my teeth and then take blood out of my arm, and it's amazing. It's kind of a scary situation sometimes. And so she does a wonderful job with that. Yeah. You don't even know that the needle's in there. But, I hope they have a lot of success down there too.
I do too. Who do you have for the 2025 International Man of the Year? I'll start with this.
Okay, go ahead. Because I honestly don't have anybody. I just not able to figure anything out there.
I have Benjamin Netanyahu. He was able to
not get impeached.
He was able to make the American government attack Iran. He was able to end that war by the peace treaty that they signed, and what they did isn't the same. Like the Palestinians still have one body of one of the people taken hostage, and he won't go to the next step. I don't necessarily agree with him, but he is the International Man of the Year because he has stayed in that office, although broken the law.
Well, it's hard. I've always been a supporter of Israel. I always admired Israel because they've been attacked by huge armies over the years since 1947 and always prevailed. They just had fights in it. They said, okay, the Germans, we walked onto those cattle cars like sheep, and we went in and we walked into the gas chamber, but no more, never again. And so you mess with them, they're going to fight you.
Yeah.
They don't care how big you are or what you have, they're going to fight you. And I always admired that. But I just, there's a lot of people been killed over there, and you just wonder, is that the only way? It just seemed like they have little regard for life, and they're extending their camps, or they're moving Palestinians out of areas that they've lived for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, and trying to make Israeli settlements and this sort of thing. And that does nothing to promote peaceful area over there. And so you can see that maybe we're in for another hundreds of years of turmoil and trouble in that area, that they will never quiet there until one side is gone. So again, that's my limited knowledge of something that's very complex.
The International Woman of the Year I had is Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister.
Oh, okay.
She was set up as this extreme right-winger that was taking over Italy, and that she was farther right-wing than President Trump, and that she was going to wreck the country. And if you watch what she's done with Italy, I'll never forget, I had an Italian foreign exchange student, and we were talking about World War II and how Italy just changed sides in the middle of the war. Yeah. And she said, that's just what our country does. We'll change governments if we don't like it in 9 months.
Yeah.
And this lady has stayed in office. She's changed Italy in a lot of good ways. And she's not necessarily a right winger. She did that, I think, to get elected. She said things to get elected, but she's more of a centrist.
You think about history, and this was that's the heart of the Roman Empire. The soldiers that conquered the known world pretty much at that time, and now they're kind of like a laughing stock. As if you see a World War II movie, the Italian soldiers provide the humor because they're so easily convinced they should surrender. Yeah. And so that was the French, the international sign of greeting for France was this. So the Italians are about the same thing, Yeah. So, and that was, that's where the Roman Empire started from. It's just amazing. So but I think that's anybody like that. And again, it's tougher for women to be tough, but to come in and take over a country and govern it in a way that benefits the people. I think that's always good.
It is. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, we have about 6 minutes left in this second half.
Yeah.
What do you have as far as this week?
Okay, well, you probably didn't realize this, but this is the year that the baby boomers turn 80, and all these guys from World War II, they came home, and they weren't thinking about mom's apple pie. Huh? And so they got married and they started having children right away, and there's this huge influx of babies from 1946 to what, 1973? Did they count those as baby boomers?
Right,
or maybe 63, somewhere, I don't know the end date. But millions of us, I was in the second wave, the second year, because I'll turn 79 this year. But the baby boomers are turning 80, and boomers became octogenarians in 2026, include actor Henry Winkler. Remember, he was a young guy on Happy Days. Baseball Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. Remember him as a young guy with Kansas or with Oakland. Singers
Yankees.
Cher, Parton, Presidents Donald Trump, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton will all be 80 this year.
Wow.
And so America's population swelled with around 76 million births from 1946 to 1964. So there's the end of it.
What was your graduating class, Dale?
How many? Close to 150, I believe. We were one of the largest classes to go through Owen High School at that time.
We were 212.
Yeah. And we may have been closer to 200. I think there was 178, something like that.
Yeah.
Every time we get together, we ask that question. We count them all up with a picture or whatever, then we forget, of course. But
see, they would allow people to go through and give them the cover. People, like we had a number of people that didn't graduate. Of my 212, there were probably 18 that didn't graduate out of that group.
Yeah. Did they go to the military or? Or just,
No. They were given the cover, but not the diploma.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, rather interesting. What else do you have?
Well, it says boomers were better educated and richer than previous generations, and they helped grow a consumer-driven economy. In their youth, they pushed for social change through the civil rights movement, the women's rights movement, and efforts to end the Vietnam War. Said, we had rock and roll. We were the first generation to get out and demonstrate in the streets. We were the first generation that was, a socially conscious generation, said Diane West, a Metro Atlanta resident who turns 80. Our parents played by the rules. We didn't necessarily play by the rules, and there were lots of us. And so they became known as the me generation, all this sort of thing. By the end of this decade, all baby boomers will be 65 and older, and the number of people 80 and over will double in the next 20 years. So we're coming along. A little stats that make you think. The share of senior citizens in the U.S. population is projected to go from 18.7% in 2025 to nearly 23% by 2050, while children under 18 declined from almost 21% to a projected 18.4%. So the older population is growing, the younger population is shrinking. Without any immigration, the U.S. population will start shrinking in the next 5 years. That's when deaths will surpass births, according to projections from the Congressional Budget Office. Population growth comes from immigration as well as births outpacing deaths. But right now, births are not outpacing deaths. The aging of America is being compounded by longer lives due to better health care and lower birth rate. The average, and this is important to you, the average U.S. life expectancy at birth rises from 78.9 years in 2025 to 82.2 years in 2055. And so that's about when you'll be ready to go, is 2055.
Hope so.
And since the Great Recession in 2008, when the fertility rate was 2.08, around the a fertility rate of 2.1, and for children to replace their parents. And they've been on a steady decline, and it's now 1.6. So you can see that people are not replacing their parents with children. And so just give me a few minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
So a recent Census Bureau study showed that 21st century young adults in the U.S. haven't been adulting like baby boomers did. In 75, almost half of 25 to 34-year-olds had moved out of their parents' home, landed jobs, gotten married, had kids. By the early 2020s, less than a quarter of U.S. adults had left home. They're still living with their parents and not having children. So we were able, as baby boomers, you could buy a lot more, a lot cheaper. It was, for us to buy a home or to have a family, to get an education, all these things were. It says the aging of America could constrain economic growth with fewer workers paying taxes. Social Security and Medicare will be under more pressure. About 34 seniors have been supported by every 100 workers in 2025, but that ratio grows to 50 seniors being supported by 100 working age people in about 30 years. And so it's going to take more people working, or there'll be more people not working that the workers have to support. The guy said, like J.D. Vance and Elon Musk have said, we need to give bonuses to women for having babies, so many thousands of dollars for every child born. But they say those programs usually hardly ever work. So they said funding should support pre-kindergarten and paid family leave. I think the best you can do for people who do want to have kids is to make it easier and less expensive to have them and raise them. Those things may not bring up the fertility rate as much as people would like, but at least the kids who are being born will have a better chance of succeeding. And I'll end with that. If you look at how much childcare costs, and you think, well, could I have one child, two child, three child? It's unbelievable how much that costs you. More than mortgages for a lot of people. And so I know when my two grandsons in Hudson, when they got out of daycare, their parents said it was like getting a large raise in salary when they could send them to the public school and not have to pay. So anyway, congratulations to all of us who are turning 80 in the next year or two. We've made it, and we hope the baby boomers, people say we've been hard on the country, and we do suck a lot of money out of it with all our pensions and stuff. In our third half, I will have a nice quiz for you to see how much of a baby boomer you really are, Jim.
All right. Thank you. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're here at Heartland Business and
Technology.
Event Center.
Yeah, business and technology, right?
Business and Event Center.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll be right back. Welcome back to the third half of the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network on this special show. Usually we're about an hour long. This show we're going about 90 minutes. We've talked about winners and losers. We've talked about what we've accomplished. We talked about the baby boomers. I know Dale has a quiz for me as a boomer. I
like to ask you hard questions that you can't answer on air, see? So.
I am turning 65 this month.
What year were you born?
61. I was born the day Kennedy was inaugurated.
Okay, so you are in the gap there for baby boomers. Okay.
Oh, what do you have for a quiz there, Dale?
Okay.
Quiz
all right.
me.
Turn to the side a little bit so you can't see my cheat sheet. During the 18 years of the baby boom from 1946 to 1964, about 76 million Americans were born. The spike in births was magnified by couples reuniting after World War II and post-war prosperity that followed. Better educated and wealthier than previous generations, boomers made popular culture more inclusive and helped grow a consumer-driven economy. Here are 20 questions to see how well you know or remember the indelible imprint made on pop culture by baby boomers and those who cater to their tastes. Okay. You remember Swanson TV dinners?
Yes.
Okay, what was in the first one ever made?
I'm going to guess Swiss steak and mashed potatoes and applesauce.
Okay. Well, actually, it was turkey with dressing, potatoes, and peas. So,
okay.
Wrong entree.
Interesting.
Okay. There's a man who created the orange powdered drink called Tang.
Yes.
There's astronauts. It was for the astronauts.
Yep.
He created two other, same man, junk food favorites. Can you name those two?
Would have been the Twinkie? No,
Nope.
we talked about the Twinkie.
Yeah. There's no way you should know this. I wouldn't know this.
I don't know.
Okay. He made Pop Rocks. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And Cool Whip. So you didn't have to whip your cream anymore. He made Cool Whip. Okay.
I love Cool Whip.
Should know this one. The names of the three astronauts who were part of the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969. Can you name those guys?
John Glenn? Not John Glenn. Oh, my gosh. Neil Armstrong?
Right.
Buzz Aldrin?
Right. And the one everybody forgets.
Yeah, including me.
Yeah, Michael Collins.
Michael Collins.
Collins, yeah.
Yeah, no relation to the Irish Revolutionary.
Right, okay. Who's the cat that won't cop out when there's danger all about?
I can't remember.
John Shaft. When they had the black movies, they came out one after the other, that a lot of black actors getting into it, and what they call black stay, I don't know what. But it was real interesting. It was the Shaft movies, and came out. All right, Simon and Garfunkel. Okay. What did they call themselves before they called themselves Simon and Garfunkel?
Art and... what was it? No, Paul?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
You can see why they probably changed. Oh, you should know this one. TV show teased the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat.
Wide World of Sports on ABC. Wide World of Sports,
that's right. Okay. What was the name of the feminist magazine activist Gloria Steinem helped found?
Cosmo?
Only had a two-letter title.
I can't remember.
Ms. Magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce Lee, the actor, martial arts actor, died just before the release of which of his films? Did you know any of his films?
I don't know his films well enough.
Okay, this was Enter the Dragon was a big, a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that when you read it?
No. You know who Darlene Love was?
Yeah.
Okay. Which girl group did Darlene Love sing for?
Was she the Supremes?
No, she was not in Supremes.
What was she in?
She was the lead singer of the Blossoms and also sang songs for a group called the Crystals.
I've heard of the Crystals, not the Blossoms.
Did you ever watch Chico and the Man on TV? Freddie Prinze had a catchphrase on that show. Do you remember what he always said? Looking good.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't like that as good as Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, and he died, right? Freddie Prinze died shortly. I don't think after the first year, maybe, and they had to get, I don't know.
I can't remember.
He died awful young.
Okay.
The Rumble in the Jungle.
Ali,
what country?
Zaire,
that's correct. Okay. Yep. How many castaways can you name that were on Gilligan's Island?
Okay, Gilligan, obviously, the skipper, the professor, Mr. Howell, Mrs. Howell, Ginger, and Marianne.
That's all of them, see? And that's a show, and as I understand it, they didn't have residuals, and that's a show that's been in reruns for years and years, and none of these people got a dime, is the way I understand it. So, and I don't know why you don't. What TV sitcom star from the 1970s once washed dishes at a Harlem eatery with Malcolm X?
I did know this.
Oh, did you?
Would have been, was it with Malcolm X? Was it Red Fox?
Red Fox is right. Very good.
Thank you.
That's excellent. You ever heard of Gloria Estefan, the singer?
Yeah.
Okay, what city was she born in?
Miami.
Havana. She was from Cuba. What was the last Beatles album to be released?
Yellow Submarine. What was it?
The last one released was Let It Be. Abbey Road was the last one they made, but it was released before Let It Be was, as I understand it.
Okay.
Okay, see if you can name, on Saturday Night TV on CBS in 1973, they had what they call the greatest TV lineup ever on Saturday nights in 1973 on CBS. Can you name any of those shows?
1970?
73.
73.
Can you name any of those shows?
On Saturday night, I remember Mondays. I remember Sundays.
These are all comedies for the most part.
Saturday nights.
Yeah.
You got to tell me. I don't remember.
Okay, well, All in the Family.
That was Saturday night.
That's what
I remember it on Sunday.
All in the Family, MASH, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Bob Newhart Show, and The Carol Burnett Show. One after the other, just fantastic shows.
See, they broke those down and put some of those on Sunday and some of those
probably
on
in later
Monday.
years they spread them out. But that year they had all these blockbusters, and then they used them, then they spread them out when there's all popular to get more viewers on other nights. Is what they do. Okay. Do you know what year did boxer Cassius Clay change his name? I didn't know this one.
That would have been 60. Well, he was in the Olympics, I believe, in 64. So it would have been probably 65.
That was 64, actually.
It was
That's
64.
when he fought Sonny Liston and beat him the first time, and then he changed his name right after that.
Okay.
So, what toy became a worldwide sensation when it was popularized by Whammo in 1957?
I remember this. I might have had this. I'm sure I had this as a kid. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
The hula hoop.
Sure.
We had a hardware store in Hazelton. I remember going down the alley, and Mr. Stinky was out in the back, pieces of plastic hose, and he had a wood plug. He'd put in one end and put the other end in the other. He was making hula hoops.
He was making hula hoops.
So,
for
making
him.
his own. So,
I doubt if that'd be legal now.
Probably not. Who was tennis player Billie Jean King's opponent in the Battle of the Sexes?
Bobby Riggs.
Bobby Riggs. And what was the real name of Dr. Seuss?
I don't know.
That was Theodore Geisel, Geisel.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Anyway, so you got some of them.
A few of them.
You should be proud of yourself for being able to remember that far back.
That's interesting.
So that's the world when we were in charge.
That's right.
I guess in some ways we're still in charge. We refuse to give up power, it seems like. So, holy cow.
We are.
Yeah. Let it go, guys.
So this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Jim Gillespie with Dale Rueber and Blake Tempus on this special show. We want to talk about our resolutions for 2025. I want to talk about, if you go back to the first show of 2025, you'll hear my resolutions.
Okay.
And here I'll tell you what they were, and I'll tell you if I got them done.
Okay.
All right. And I had these monthly.
Okay.
I had one a month. January, buy a sit-on top kayak. I bought one.
Did one. Yeah.
And then I gave it away in July.
Was that a resolution just to own it 6 months? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was just too heavy. February to go to Florida. Although I didn't go in February, I went to Florida.
You went to Florida.
So I got
and
that
you met
done.
your cousins there, right?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
Parachute jump. And I got that done. So 2 for 3. Go to Mexico. I didn't get that done.
Yeah.
2 for 4.
They would have kidnapped you and held you for ransom.
They would.
Blake and I would have had to come up with the money, see?
That would have been kind of you. I would have counted on you guys, though. You guys would have.
Yeah, you just say, hey, man, you got the wrong guy here, boy.
So I was 2 for 4. Fish in Florida. I got that done. 3 for 5. Kayak fish raft. Didn't get that done. 3 for 6. Kayak fish Lake McBride. Didn't get that done. 3 for 7. Kayak fish the Upper Iowa River. Didn't get that done. 3 for 8. I had a terrible injury on my foot, so I couldn't go in the river for
Yeah, I remember that.
For like 3 months. It wrecked my goals. Kayak fish 4 lakes in Minnesota. I could have done that, but I didn't do that. So 3 for 9.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas. Didn't get that done. 3 for 10. Kayak fish from Otterville to Indy. 3 for 11. Spend a weekend in Cresco. I got that done. 3 for 12.
4 for 12.
4 for 12. Yeah. And then I had a long distance one. Meet a new artist every month.
Mm-hmm.
I got that done.
Yeah.
So,
probably the most important one of all.
It was.
Right? Yeah.
It was.
My wife brought home a thing from the Buchanan County Health Center, the exercise room. Yeah. And this is, I tried to stay away from weight loss resolutions resolutions.
Right.
But they have a good one there. You weigh in and you go a month. And if you maintain your weight or lose weight, you're a winner.
There you go. I like that.
You just have to maintain.
Yeah, maintain.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty good. See,
It does.
So I better go sign up for that. So.
Yeah, I like that. These are my resolutions for 2026. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. I can do that. I have the first foreign artist in residence in Steve Brown Arts Center history.
Okay.
That is
There's someone in mind?
there is at the vice president of the Arts Center's wedding, Kara Masteller. I met a singer from Ireland. She wanted to do some shows. I told her we would get her the shows and we would get her the residence to stay in for 2 weeks here if she wanted to come here.
Sure.
All she'd have to pay for is her flight.
Yeah.
And as of now, it's on.
All right.
But she is busy with a new job, so she may not be able to get out. But what is neat about her, she's got a master's in performance and songwriting. I didn't know you could get a master's in songwriting.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew you could in performance, but I didn't know about songwriting.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Anyhow, that's a goal. To buy a new sofa and recliner. To visit the Boho Center in Cedar Rapids, the Bohemian Center there.
Yeah, well, Deb and I did that one day. We
did.
But this was before floods, whenever that was. So I think they're probably changed. They didn't even move. But no, we were down there one day. We were doing a once a week go somewhere kind of thing over the summer. And we went there and they have the Black Museum and the Bohemian Museum.
Right.
We went to both of them the same day.
Oh, cool.
Both very interesting.
Yeah.
But that I know they had the floods after that, and so that I know they're not the same as they once were.
Okay. Have an experience with a spiritualist. Is one.
You're talking that guy we had at Strawberry Point?
Yeah. Well, I want to have, there's a ticket for $100 to have this world famous spiritualist mind reader in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
I mean, she's on A&E or one of those channels. I thought about going to her, but I also go by a spiritualist in Dubuque every time I deliver in Dubuque, and I thought about visiting them.
So it'd be it wouldn't be a performance, it'd be like a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to have a performance, but
it's amazing how those people do that. I don't know how they do. I mean, I know reading your mind or anything, but they sure know a lot about people.
They do.
It's unbelievable.
To have a mural done in Independence, I think on the building Jack, owned by B.J. Youngblood, I think we're going to do one on there.
Okay. That's down by the river.
Yeah.
Big white building. Yeah, okay.
And to do a mural in Jesup that is a little more challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have anyone
Blake's
yet.
parents would like to have a big mural on their house, I bet.
No,
So.
I don't think so, but we'll ask. To have an art show at Farmers Day. I talked about the giant art show.
Yeah.
I want to go to Washington State for 2 reasons. I want to go, that's where they film Northern Exposures. And it's also, I want to go to where D.B. Cooper jumped, the area where they think D.B. Cooper jumped.
Okay. There's a place in Seattle you can go to, and it's the view. Frazier really had an apartment. That was the view they showed out his window. So there's no building there, but you can stand there, and it's the view that Frazier could see off his balcony or whatever in the show.
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat to go to. And then there's a bridge that has a car and a big troll underneath it. You should go see that too. So,
Yeah.
So
a car and a
big troll.
Yeah.
The troll side, the troll in the car are big. They're underneath this bridge, and so kind of neat.
So to go to Washington State, to go to the art galleries in Chicago, then I could spend a weekend there doing that, or 2 or 3 days during a week. To go to the galleries in Minneapolis, and the 12th one is to go to the galleries in Des Moines. So those are my goals for 2026.
Have you ever been to Des Moines to see the outdoor sculptures they have in that one park, Papa John Park or something?
You know, I have seen those, but I haven't spent a long time.
Yeah. Those are very interesting.
Yeah.
And they have a little plaque for each one, and they're excellent. I don't know. Somebody had a real good mind that made some of those.
Right.
It's just, and they moved they had a red shovel or a spade, and they sold that. Somebody bought it, and it was in the paper a few months ago. So, but it's a nice little place to see. It's down there by Principal Ballpark in that area.
Yeah.
And it's not very far from the ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've driven by that. I just haven't spent any time in there. We need to thank so many people. We need to thank our sponsors for all they do for the Steve Brown Arts Center. We need to thank our artists. We've got incredible artists, and we just keep developing more. We are having, somebody said to me, and I wish I could remember how they said, I know you guys aren't rich, but you're successful. And that made me feel good. That it is. That makes me happy. That was never a goal. Obviously, we're a 501c3. We can't be rich.
Right. And we're doing a good job of that,
yes,
aren't we?
Are. Yes, we are. But that person saying that made me feel really good.
Yeah.
We have. I never thought I would be doing this with you guys as long as I have.
I'm surprised. I surpassed anything I thought I'd be doing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It is. I'll have to Google sometime how long a podcast lasts.
Yeah.
We've developed so many friends out of this. Out of the Arts Center that there's too many to mention.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a giant party for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I did want to mention my listener of the year, thinking about this. There's a man named Eric Frank, lives in Lake City. And every time I see him, he mentions something about the podcast. So I know he's a loyal listener. Yeah. And he's always positive and good-humored. And so for Eric Frank out there, thanks an awful lot for listening. We really appreciate it. So.
It is so neat to have not only Eric, but there is, we have people from Des Moines to Cresco.
Ypsilanti, Michigan.
It is something that we can't thank you enough. To our loyal listeners, can't thank the people that sponsor our artists in Buchanan County. Is surpassed our dreams, and I know Steve Brown would be incredibly happy. I talk to his sister about once every 6 months or so, and she is very happy with it.
Yeah.
Loves to see the success that.
And it's really so we don't have a hall to exhibit, but these businesses that give us space in their business during working hour, when they're open for business, that's really something that they will give us some space to put some paintings up around and have people come in and just talk to the artists and everything. And so you got to give them a lot of credit for doing that for us.
Mm-hmm. So. Presently, we're showing art in M's Coffee. Kyle Bach is the artist of the month there, the photographer. And we are showing Nick Thomas's art in Getney's bakery and coffee shop. We have a show coming up January 21st at Joe's Pizza in Manchester.
Okay.
And
we're on the road.
We are. And we have Rex Nielsen is going to be one of the artists there. We're going to have a pizza and paint by Billy Joe Sheldakowski. And then Katie Kelly is going to have her first exhibition ever at that. And Katie is, as an artist, just amazes me that the growth. She is maybe one of the best students, and as far as learning, she comes to our artist collaboration, calls those people afterwards, gets advice. So I asked her if she wanted to do her first show, and she's going to do her first show, and then we're going to do our podcast.
Yeah, good for her.
And Joe is giving away 100 pieces of pizza there again.
Yeah.
So be ready to eat.
Yes.
If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea for the event, go to stevebrownartscenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@stevebrownartscenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message. If you see Dale or Blake going down the street, chase them and
I don't run very fast. So.
And give them any ideas. Do you have anything else for us, Dale?
I'm good to go.
I am Jim Gillespie with Dale Rueber and producer Blake Tempus. Blake is about ready to show our new website.
Yeah. When do you think that'll be ready? Anytime now.
We'll see.
Keep checking.
All right.
Keep checking the website.
And don't forget, check out our Facebook page done by Josie Lloyd. As always, thanks to Kelly C. Haas here at Heartland's Business and Events Center in beautiful downtown Jesup. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. Have a happy new year, and remember, each day is about little victories.